Hi guys, I'm Kasia. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss movies and horror. And today finally I'm here to let you know what I thought about the movie Infinity Pool.
It's coffee time!
You guys know I have been waiting for this movie to be available here to me in the Netherlands. It did come out at the end of January, I believe, 2023, so I was just waiting and waiting, and it didn't get like a proper theatrical release here, but I was finally able to watch it. I was really excited about it because I had seen Possessor and really enjoyed it, and this one has Skarsgård and also Mia Goth in it, which are actors that I do enjoy, so I was really excited. Finally watched it last night and I'm here to let you know what I thought about it, spoiler free. Now I will mention something that happens really early on in the film, in the first like 20 minutes or so, because it is compiled in all the synopses that I have been seeing about the film everywhere, so I think that most people are aware of that, and also that happens really early on in the movie, so I don't consider that a huge spoiler. Infinity Pool is a 2023 science fiction horror film written and directed by Brandon Cronenberg. It stars Alexander Skarsgård, Mia Goth, and Cleopatra Coleman, and the movie has a very basic premise. We have a struggling writer that is spending some holidays with his wife on a beautiful island, on a beautiful retreat, when basically they end up making some really dark discoveries in that island. The movie did premiere at the Sundance Film Festival at the end of January 2023 and was also then released in the cinema. Like I said, sadly not here. I believe there might be some really small cinemas that might carry this type of more like art house film, so I have to investigate because I had to wait so long for this one, which also made me the more, hyped up for the film, and I'm here to let you know if it was actually worth the hype for me or not. The film was praised for the atmosphere, for the performances, and for Cronenberg's direction, but it was criticized for the plot and the storyline. And now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Guided by a seductive and mysterious woman, a couple on vacation venture outside their resort grounds and find themselves in a culture filled with violence, hedonism, and untold horror. A tragic accident soon leaves them facing a zero-tolerance policy for crime. Either you're gonna be executed, or if you're rich enough, you can pay for basically a double of yourself and watch yourself die instead. Infinity Pool opens at an exclusive resort in an island where we follow James, our main character, played by Alexander Skarsgård, and he's spending there some holiday, some time with his wife, and also he has writer's block. He's only written one book that was not really successful, and he's struggling to come up with ideas and to actually sit down to write a new book. So he feels like maybe in this isolated island in a beautiful resort he might get the inspiration that he's looking for. That is when he meets Gabby, played by Mia Goth, a beautiful young woman that appears to be a fan of his book, and he is completely smitten by her, and he's of course really happy that someone loved his book, and they kind of start a weird friendship. Gabby and her partner Alan convince James and Em, his wife, to go to a trip outside of their resort grounds, which is normally not allowed, but they decide to do it and spend the day outside and investigate a little bit more the island. However, when they are driving back to the resort, James is driving and he runs over someone that ends up dying, so he has now committed a crime. Now, in this island that is absolutely fictional, when you commit a crime like this, you have to pay with your own life. If you are rich enough, you can pay for them to make a copy of you, and you can watch your double die instead. And that is such a cool concept. I absolutely love that. And obviously Cronenberg is kind of letting us know that money does get you out of basically everything in this case, in what he's portraying in this film. It would even get you out of paying for a murder that you have committed. What happens when you introduce this concept is that basically there are no more morals for rich people. They know that they can get away with absolutely anything, so stealing, killing, doing whatever they want. They know that they're not gonna end up paying for it with their own lives or with, you know, sentence with time in jail. So it is kind of an interesting concept of what would people do if there would not be any consequences to your actions. James' wife M is absolutely horrified by this concept. She hates everything about it and she just wants to get out of the island. And as a counterbalance, we have Gabby, played by Mia Goth, that actually likes the idea. She's not against it at all. And I think, you know, the character development from both James and Gabby is one of the best things of the film, because you see them going through a lot of different stages throughout the film, and their performances were absolutely amazing, and they deserve the majority of the praise for this film just for their stunning performances. Of course, as a viewer, immediately when the concept was introduced that you could choose to pay and get a copy made of yourself and watch him die instead, of course the first thing that you think is, how do you know the one they kill is your double and not yourself? Because they basically not only create a copy when it comes to the body, but they also transfer all your thoughts, all your feelings, all your memories to the double. So in a sense, it is a clone, like exact of yourself. So of course at the beginning I thought, what if the one they're killing is yourself and not your clone? For me, the director focuses more on the loss of your soul, on the loss of who you are, than on the body or the physical matter. So for me, it makes a lot of sense that he introduces these things into his films where you kind of question if the main character has lost himself, has lost part of his soul, if he's the same person, like all of these different concepts that he has in his films. The visuals are stunning, but they are also very particular. They're very trippy. There is a mix of colors and textures, and at points in the film it was almost like you were on a drug trip, which you kind of were. And there's also a lot of disturbing images and gore. There's also a lot of nakedness in this film, a lot of nudity in it, which is something that a lot of viewers might find a little bit uncomfortable at times. There are some moments which are not just focusing on the naked bodies, but also a lot of weird things happening with them. That's all I'm gonna say. We have some candid camera angles, and I feel like what this movie did really well is capture the atmosphere. There are even some times where the visuals are just stunning. There's just so many good shots of the island that almost makes you feel like you're on vacation. You almost forget everything that's going on in the background. But of course you can also expect those trippy CGI montages that you know from other films, and a lot of body images. Some of them you wish you would have never seen. When it comes to the horror, I feel like for this movie the majority of the horror was the violence that is presented at times as entertainment and at times as an aphrodisiac. And there are a lot of gory moments. Sometimes it's just quick shots of disturbing gore, but this is not your typical horror movie. If you've never seen a movie by him before, if you've never seen Possessor, don't expect a very straightforward horror movie here. The movie also kind of dives a little bit deeper into the psychological horror, I would say, even a little bit more than Possessor did. So if you like psychological horror and you do not mind trippy movies with very slow pacing, may I add, then this one might be for you. The film had a very slow pacing throughout the majority of the film, so you really need to be engaged with it and be on board with that, apart from all of the creepy visuals. Infinity Pool could also be taken as an exploration on the darker sides of tourism and all that comes with that. I feel like there are really interesting concepts explored in this film. I just feel like at times perhaps the things that he was trying to explore were not so clear, or as clear as they could have been, which might make this film at times slightly disjointed. At the end of the day, I did enjoy the movie, especially for the performances of both Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth. They are fantastic, especially Mia Goth. I really have a very special place in my heart for her. Last year with X and with Pearl, and now with Infinity Pool, I mean, she's a force to be reckoned with. She is amazing as an actress at what she does, and she is fantastic in this film. I feel like if you are going to watch this movie, if you had it on your watch list, most probably it's because you've already seen Possessor and you know what you're getting yourself into. But if not, keep in mind that this movie is not your regular horror, psychological horror film. This is a more movie based on metaphors and concepts and visuals than anything else, so do not expect like a really straightforward film. I think this movie had a really good script, but the POVs of the characters and certain things I feel like could have been explored in a better way. So since I enjoy it, I would say give it a watch, give it a try. But it is definitely not for everybody. Let me know down below if you enjoyed Possessor, if you've watched Infinity Pool, what do you think of Cronenberg. In my opinion, he has delivered good movies, but his masterpiece is yet to come, so I'm really excited to see what he does next. Alright you guys, so if you did see the movie, let me know down below what you thought of it, and thank you guys as always so much for all your support. I hope to see you all as always in our next coffee time. Bye!